Welcome to POL Classics. Be sure to check out the best of POL from over the years. It's at its most popular day and time, and guess what? It's only on WNEP+.
WNEP proudly presents the premier outdoor show in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, your window to the great outdoors. Tonight on Pennsylvania Outdoor Life.
We'll take a look at a most unusual collection of skulls, and we'll meet the winner of the Arctic Cat Contest.
Our sights are set. Pennsylvania Outdoor Life starts right now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life for a Sunday evening. I'm Ken Hunter, and I'm here with Don Jacobson.
Hello.
Jake, the seasons are about over, at least the regular gun season, yeah, but we still have Flintlock to go.
We do.
So,
Did you fill your buck tank?
well, not yet. No. Flintlock, maybe I can do something with that. But you know, a lot of people are now thinking about how to preserve those trophies they got, the deer, the bear, whatever, and it may be a mount like this, or it may be preserving the skull, and you've got some ideas on what you can do with the skull.
Absolutely. Now, whether you already have a skull sitting in your home, or whether you have shot a bear and don't know what to do with it, how to preserve it, or you just find one out in the field. Field staff member Susan Gallagher from the Carbon County Environmental Education Center has an incredible skull collection, and she's here to tell us how you can keep yours around forever.
The simplest thing, of course, is just to let nature take its course.
Okay.
And let's say you have a bear head or a deer head that you want cleaned. This I found at a yard sale. It's an old milk crate, and what you can do is just put your head in there during warmer weather, tie it up, seal it up somehow, and maybe stake it to a tree or something so nobody can drag it off. Let the bugs get in, let the bugs do the cleaning for you.
How long?
It depends. Depends on how warm the weather is. It depends on how big the specimen is, and depends on how much meat you want off of it.
Could be weeks, could be months?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also should mention, you want to try to keep yourself clean. You want to try to protect yourself from bodily fluids, things like that. So goggles and a pair of rubber gloves wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay.
If you don't want to wait all that time to do that, you can always cook them. You can simmer them.
This is like the real reason why they invented a crock pot.
Exactly, yeah. This is what we use crock pots for around here. And it doesn't smell too bad. I think you can get a little...
you put a little bit of soap or something
I
in there,
put a little bit of Dawn in there. Now, skull cleaning is like dieting. Everybody has their own ideas on what works and what doesn't. And if you get the results you want, you're doing it right. That's the way I feel about it. I put a little bit of Dawn. It's a good degreaser. It'll get rid of some of the grease that's in the bone.
And I think it cut the smell down.
And it does cut the smell a little bit, too.
So now, what do you have in here?
So we have in here, I just did some chicken heads this morning so that you could sort of get a feel for what these things look like through the different processes. Okay. And I tied a little bit of string around them because this way I don't have to put my hands in the hot pot and pull it out and get a look at its progress. So
and again, how long?
You can do this in a day. Most skulls, if you cook them, if you leave them in a crock pot, maybe 6 or 7 hours at the most of them should be finished. The other thing, and this takes long, but you don't have to do anything, put it in a bucket of water. Put a lid on it, poke some holes in, because there are bacteria that will actually cause the meat to fall off of the bone. And it's called maceration. It's very simple. The only problem is it's very, very smelly. And I have another chicken head in here, but even something the size of a chicken head is going to create a big stink. This is a really much smellier than the crock pot or anything else.
And that's just plain water. So if you had a deer head, it'd have to be a big bucket with plain water.
With a lid with some holes in it. And what you can do, since it's bacteria, you can add a little bit of pond water to that, or even a little bit of manure or dirt with some bacteria already in it. Speeds it up along. Yep.
Okay.
So that's how you get the meat off. Now, some people might have skulls at home that maybe look a little something like this. The meat's already off. and you want to get it cleaned off. We have some things here that we keep just for skull cleaning. We've got some old toothbrushes, and these work really well with just some warm, soapy water with some Dawn dishwashing liquid in it. And you might want to leave it sit in the warm, soapy water maybe overnight, let it soften that up a little bit. But you can see how most of that dirt is going to be able to scrub. You're going to be able to scrub it right off.
You're whitening it up already there.
Yep. Old brushes, syringe with a little tube attached to it. Usually you can get a syringe from a taxidermist if you don't have another source for them. And I fill this up, squirt it in there in the brain case, and you're able to flush that out nice and clean as well. After the scrub and after the meat's off, what you want to do next is get some of the grease out of the skull, especially important for really greasy things. If it's an animal that has greasy meat like a bear, it's probably going to have greasy bones too. And ammonia is a good way to do that.
Just soak it, wipe it, what?
Soak it overnight, soak it for a few days if you need to in ammonia, but the smell is really strong again, so you want to make sure you have good ventilation when you're using ammonia to degrease your skulls. Now the biggest mistake I think most people make is in taking a skull and putting it in bleach. You want it to look nice and white. You don't want it to look dirty, but bleach is actually going to eat away at the bone. So what you want to use is plain old drugstore hydrogen peroxide. Doesn't have to be anything special.
The stuff we use for cuts and stuff.
That's at home in your medicine cabinet. Yep. Okay. You can drop the skull in it. I did last night. I put this little rat skull in peroxide. This is one that hasn't been put in peroxide, so you can see the difference. This is the first vertebrae from the neck of a bear. This side has been dipped in peroxide, this side hasn't. So you can really see the difference, and that's as white as you need it to be. You don't need to use bleach to do that sort of thing.
All right, so now you've got it nice and white.
Now you got it nice and white.
You don't want it to go bad on you, or you don't want it to go dark on you. What do you do then?
Some people will take like a clear acrylic spray and spray them. Mm-hmm. Those tend to yellow over time. So what I do is I mix half and half Elmer's glue and water. Put it in a little bottle, you can save it and you can reuse it. I pour it into a little tub here, and all I do is dip the skull. We have a little turtle skull here. Dip the skull in it and leave it to dry on wax paper. And what that's going to do is that's going to help seal your skull, protect the bones from getting chalky a little bit, and give it a nice sort of finish to it when it's done. And it's not going to yellow over time. So that's a nice, very inexpensive way to seal your skull.
It dries clear too.
Dries clear, yep.
Okay. Now, what are you going to show us? These are incredible little creatures.
Yeah, these are some of my favorite creatures here at the Environmental Center. These are some things that we use to clean really delicate bones. And I realize not everybody may have these guys, but they're so amazing I did want to show them. So it may not be the way for you to go skull cleaning, but they're interesting at least to know about. We cleaned a hummingbird skull with these guys. We cleaned a little newborn eastern cottontail with these guys. So very delicate little specimens you're able to clean with flesh-eating beetles. And they're the same things they would use at museums, at universities for cleaning delicate bones or bones that you want to really keep track of. Say maybe you have a whole skeleton. And I put a chicken head in here on Friday. We're taping this now on Tuesday. Yep. And this is how clean they got it. So they're very efficient little decomposers. They eat dried flesh. Even if there's a dried roadkill on the side of the highway, you may see these fuzzy little larvae crawling around on it. So these are the flesh-eating beetles, only eating dead stuff, so no danger putting your hand in the tank or anything like that.
Unbelievable.
Isn't that amazing?
That's their job.
That's their job.
Susan Gallagher has the most incredible collection of skulls from all over the world, all kinds of animals, and we will indeed be showing you more of that next week, the ones that are already finished. But a lot of people are saying, why did you show that to us? Well, this is a new modern way of preserving your antlers. It's called a European mount, and they're actually putting deer heads into bowls filled with those bugs, and this is what it works out. This happens to be Brian Hollingshead, our producer's first buck that he shot in 2001, and he had it done. But I think that was a great little story, and I get a lot of emails, Ken, from people that say, you know, how do I preserve this? How do I whiten this skull that I found in the woods? So there you go.
Very interesting. At first I thought she was coming up with some kind of a magic potion or a curse that she was going to put on you.
No, honest to goodness.
It's for real.
It is for real, and a lot of people really do like putting antlers like this and bones like that in
makes
collections.
A very nice mount.
Yes, they do.
Well, we're going to go to a break in just a second here, but don't go away, because when we come back, we're going to meet the winner of our Arctic Cat contest.
have even more POL Classics on WNEP Plus right after this.
Welcome back to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. We're still talking about the gun season and actually wrapping things up right now, right?
Well, actually, now that pretty much the gun season's over with, it's time to start putting your guns away. And Jackie Voss has got a real good tip for how to take care of that gun.
Have you ever noticed when you store your gun in a case for a long period of time and you go to open it that your gun is spotted? This is due to the foam interior of the gun pressing down and absorbing the oil. It doesn't cause any damage, but it causes you to re-oil. One thing that you can do to prevent this from happening is using a gun sock. A gun sock has 3 purposes in one. The silicone in it helps any metal parts on the gun. It prevents it for rust prevention. It also, too, with the cotton fibers, absorbs any moisture that may get at your gun. And finally, to protect it, it protects it from dust, dirt, scratches, and even the oil from your hands. The socks are available at any local sporting shop dealer in a variety of sizes to fit your needs. And remember, before you handle any gun, make sure you practice firearm safety. I'm Jackie Voss with your tip of the week.
Thanks, Jackie, for that great tip. And here's the sock, or I should say socks, that she was using in that little tip. They're from Hunter's Gallery in Hamlin. And Jake, we're going to give a couple of these away. We've got one for a rifle and shotgun, one for a revolver pistol type.
How about all the one person? How's that? We'll give it 3
all
of those
to one
away
person.
to one person
Okay,
right
we've got
now.
several of them here.
I'll pick a name from the bottom here, and you can read that one.
All right, and the first lucky winner is Mike Morgan of Kingston.
All right, we'll be picking some other prizes from this pile right now, though. We want to remind you, 2 weeks ago, we were in this pile picking the name of the winner for the Arctic Cat contest, courtesy of Rusty Palmer. It was Richard Arnold of Shavertown, and here's exactly how it all happened, and now let's meet the winner. Melissa, I'm going to ask you to get out of the postcards, if you would, and we are going to give it one last real, I don't care where the postcard comes from kind of look here, and we're going to make sure that we draw this. I can't believe it. I have been seeing places all over northeastern and central Pennsylvania. The response is absolutely incredible. You know, we've been asking people for a week now, and I think if all the postcards are in here, I'm going to go
They're all
right
in there,
down
Jake.
in here, and I'm going to pick a postcard from this pile right here, and I'm going to see, I see 4 clues.
Okay.
And come on out here, guys, and we're going to, it is gray squirrel, deer, raccoon, and bear. And I see Rich Arnold of Shavertown.
Whoa, there's Rich.
Rich Arnold, congratulations. We, of course, are happy Rusty Palmer's involved. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you guys for being here, Corey, Melissa.
Richard and Louise Arnold of Shavertown made their way to Rusty Palmer's in Honesdale to collect their Arctic Cat. Melissa Palmer handed them the keys.
On behalf of Rusty Palmer's, I'd like to present to Richard and Louise paperwork for their new Arctic Cat 500 4x4. They won through Rusty Palmer Inc. and WNEP 16's Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, as well as the keys. Congratulations from everybody. Enjoy, enjoy. Of course, the Arctic Cat comes with everything that you see here. There is, of course, this awesome blind that comes with it, as well as a rack system, scabbard, baskets, you name it. This thing is fully loaded.
Hey, on behalf of Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, Rich and Louise Arnold, congratulations on the contest.
Thank you.
What do you think about this now? Tell me a little bit about how many postcards you sent in. Did you ever think you were going to win? Tell me a little bit.
So we sent in 52 postcards, and as far as winning, I don't know.
Take a chance, right?
Yep.
Tell me all about that 5 minutes of, ah!
Well, we were sitting in the living room watching the drawing, and my son was sleeping in the chair. I was kind of in and out, dozing. She was talking to her oldest daughter on the phone when you drew the card, and everybody started screaming, and my son jumped about that far off the chair. He didn't know what was going on. I guess up at our daughter's house, everybody was screaming up there. He had some friends over. It was something.
Now, Louise, you had told me that that Richard here is a very lucky man at National Wild Turkey Federation banquets and stuff. Did you think he was going to win this?
No, I never thought he'd win something like this.
So now you guys want to go play the lottery since he's this lucky, right?
I wish.
I have to ask you the question. Is he going to share this with you? Are you going to get on it?
I'll ride it. I won't drive it.
Oh, you're not going to be the one behind the wheel, though?
No.
Well, on behalf of Pennsylvania Outdoor Life again, congratulations. You are the envy of, you saw the postcards, hundreds of thousands of postcards. So congratulations. Use it in good health.
Thank you. I will.
Congratulations, Rich Arnold of Shavertown. Can you imagine the response? Once again, we have to say thank you to all the viewers that have participated in the Arctic Cat contest. Let me get out of here.
Yeah, don't fall.
We're going to use this one more time for our prize drawing from the product giveaway later on in the show, and then these postcards are gone for the year. What a great contest.
Well, hey, again, congratulations, Richard. Now listen, don't go away. We're going to be right back after this commercial.
POL Classic, we'll have much more of it on WNEP Plus right after this.
Welcome back to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. Take a look at this. Ken,
Whoa.
I decided to treat you to some fresh venison chili. I made it earlier in the week. It's been in this crock pot all evening.
Well, it's about time. I've been waiting.
Oh, now
here,
look at you.
smelling this the whole show.
There you go. Now, if you want to kick it up a few notches, we've got some Louisiana hot sauce, some crushed red pepper, more chili. I actually like a couple of oyster crackers in there. Why don't you,
I think
don't
the
burn your
oyster
tongue.
crackers, but I think we'll let the hot stuff go.
You'll
Let's
let
see
this-
what we
okay.
have here. Jake, this looks terrific.
Now
This is venison,
Yep,
too?
and this is, from the dough that I shot on Wednesday, or Monday, I'm sorry. Is it good?
That is delicious.
It's-
Boy, am I glad we got a dough in the freezer.
Yeah, I'll
Whoa.
give you the recipe. Actually, we used that in the Pennsylvania Outdoor Life cookbook years ago. That was my mother's
Excellent.
recipe. While you're chowing down on some chili, let me tell you that we put together a nice collection of white-tailed deer photos from people and places. Let's take a look. We'll begin this week's look at Pennsylvania people and places with some successful early doe hunters. 12-year-old Steve Martin of Northumberland County is seen here with his father, Theron Martin. Steve shot these two doe on the first day of the junior early hunt, and Dad was there to help. Nice going, guys. 13-year-old Tim Murley of Jessup shot his first deer ever this fall. Tim was hunting in the early doe season when this memorable experience took place. Tim also bagged a 5-pointer on the opening day while hunting in Susquehanna County with his father. Congratulations, Tim. John Eckert of Hamlin also scored with his first deer. 14-year-old John was hunting with his father, Terry, and Steve Alekna in Greentown when he filled his tag. Congratulations, John. Now take a look at this 11-point trophy taken by Tom Snyder of Orwicksburg. This huge buck was shot on the last day of the archery season in West Brunswick Township in Schuylkill County. This set of antlers sported a 20-inch spread, and it's the biggest buck ever taken on the family farm. Now take a look at this twofer. 13-year-old Chad Allman of Middleburg doubled up on the first day of the rifle season. Chad was hunting on Montour Ridge with his father and grandfather when he shot his doe and his buck. And you can see he's a very proud hunter. And here's another look at a first-day buck. 14-year-old Tim Everett Jr. of Berwick brought home the venison on the opening day of the rifle season. Tim filled his buck tag while hunting with his father and some friends in Luzerne County. 76-year-old Pete Tonellis was hunting on the second day of this year's rifle season when he scored with this respectable 9-pointer. This buck walked by his stand at 9 a.m. while chasing two doe. Pete wanted us to know he was 76 years old and he could still get his buck. Nice shooting. This seems to be the year of the big bucks. Jeff Headings of Danville is proud of the 8-pointer he shot while hunting in Columbia County. Jeff tells us this rack sported an 18-inch inside spread and is measured in at 15 inches high. This buck is now at the taxidermist. Our final photo for tonight comes to us from a very proud Mark Zikoski of Moosic. Mark took this slammer buck on the first day of the rifle season while hunting in Ransom Township. This 8-pointer is the second buck for Mark in 22 years of hunting. Congratulations on your trophy. And with these whitetails, we'll wrap up this week's edition of Pennsylvania People and Places.
Thanks, everybody, for those great photos, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more big buck photos coming in as the year goes on, Jake.
As they come in.
Jake, this is terrific. It does not need any of this red stuff.
You know,
it's great just the way it is.
You know, I think I'm working with a little sissy over here.
Yes,
you don't like hot stuff.
You are working with a sissy, I guarantee.
Man, see, on a scale of 1 to 5, this is only a 2.5.
This would be a 5.5 or a 6.
Oh, no, it isn't. It's a 2.5. While he tries to cool his mouth off, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to have a product demonstration and giveaway, so stick around.
Welcome back to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. Jake, we're at that point in the program now. We're going to give away a product.
Okay.
It may seem like we're rushing the season a little bit here with this spinning outfit, but I'll tell you what, it won't be long. Trout season, bass season will be coming around
Plus,
to us.
what a great Christmas gift.
And it would be a great Christmas gift. And this is a fine river rod, I think. It's a 6'6", medium action spinning outfit with a Shakespeare rod. Comes to us from Shakespeare.
You want me to hold that?
Yeah, if you would, please. And it also comes with 2 packages of line. We've got a package of 12-pound trilene, package of 8-pound trilene. You can put either one on there depending on how you want to use it. Great bass rod.
Now, what does it mean when it says bearings? This says 4 bearings.
That'll have a lot to do with how smooth it is, and that's not bad. That's pretty smooth. You can give that thing a crank and it goes around a time or two. That's not too bad. And the other thing I like about this one is it's a front drag. I think it's a smoother drag. I really like that.
Now, this would be used in the river?
Oh, yeah. It'd be great for some tubes or something like that, or jigs, grubs.
Okay.
Be a great rod.
And it's a great Christmas gift.
Oh, you bet.
Again, we're going to be dumping all these cards. Do not send in any postcards for the weekly drawing because we've been collecting the ones over the last month that came in, and we will be dumping our barrel. So this will be the last time that we are indeed using this pile. And again, we want to say thank you to everybody that took part in the Arctic Cat contest. And what do you say we come over in this corner this time? And I just grabbed this card right there. And
all right, and we have a winner here in the Arctic Cat. Well, this is not the Arctic Cat. This is George, looks like Tenedros of Winfield, PA. George Tenedros is the lucky winner.
Excellent. Now, you know, this recent cold snap that we've had has sent some emails to me from the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission. Ice safety.
Yes.
You want to talk about that for a minute? I mean,
boy,
seriously, it's not thick enough yet. How do you know when it's thick enough?
I know when I'm sure there's a good solid 4 inches of clear ice at least, and I'll tell you what, Jake, the older I get, the more I like a little bit more, you know, maybe 6 inches, but you've got to be very careful early in the season. Some places don't freeze as fast as other places, and I would make real sure of that first. And take along those ice grippers in case anything would happen.
Right?
Definitely.
But ice safety is very important. Don't let a tragedy happen in your family. Keep the kids off the ice until you're sure that it's thick enough, right?
Absolutely.
All right, well, we're going to say goodbye here from Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. For Ken Hunter, I'm Don Jacobs, and the entire team of Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, we wish you the very best in the great outdoors.
So long now.
Pennsylvania Outdoor Life is a local presentation of WNEP TV. We're proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania.
Arctic Cat.
Thank you for joining us for a look back at POL Classics. Now I'm going to invite you to join us every Sunday night at 6:30 on WNEP+.